So now we're at stage 4. Stage 4 is when you are actually a candidate and you're there to position yourself and market yourself in the market and start competing against other product managers that's doing this work. So whether if this job is internal or external, you're competing in the arena now. During this stage, you've built enough skills. You have knowledge through self-exploration. You've done some courses, you got some guidance, you build up your portfolio, you've done the existing work in your company, you got some wins, got some outcomes. And now it's time for you to translate everything you've done into a clear, confident story that you can go into interview room and start showcasing what you can bring to the company. Your job doesn't have to come from outside as well. I want to be really clear about that. Majority of the product management transitions come from internal transitions because companies don't want to lose a amazing employee like yourself. So you want to start with where you are. See if you can actually create a product management role for yourself internally because you've already been doing the job, right? As an unofficial PM, can you create this role yourself? If you can't, can you go join a product team in a different function? And if you really can't, that's when you can start looking externally because opportunity can come from all areas, not just one aspect. And obviously there's considerations here, which is what's the brand of this company, right? And also how much does it get paid and so on. So there's a bunch of considerations here, but start internally. If you can't, then look externally. That's generally the priority here. And the common blocker is like in this stage, if you're looking for internal or external opportunities, is that you keep on getting interviews, but you get no offers. But that's very normal. So don't give up. That's a sign that your story is not working. It does not mean that you're not getting any leads. It means that people are interested in your background. People are interested in talking to you. The only thing that's not converting is probably your story that's not landing. You need to tighten your messaging, polish your pitch, and really align your experience with what the company really needs. And there's going to be certain companies that you can gravitate towards, and there's certain companies that you can never work in. For example, you've got a finance background. Chances are a finance PM is probably better for you than, say, a heavy, fast-moving consumer goods product manager for Coca-Cola, right? Very different. Think of this as a chef that is ready to run a kitchen. You're there, you've been a sous chef already. Now you want to start becoming the chef. And really, you're not there to try out things anymore. You're there to lead. You want to show your company that you can do the job. And it would be a big mistake for them not to hire you because of the value that you bring, the experience that you bring, the work that you've done. And during this stage, you're going to have different types of constraints and wins. So the constraints are here is you've done the work, but you're not framing it with the strategic impact, right? So this is where you have to update your resume and translate everything that you've done from function perspective into business outcome. How much money you've made, by when, and how long it took. The product strategy, what did you do to take the product to market? So all of this outcome-based things that you have in your resume, this is time for you to market yourself. And at Product Academy, we have a whole section on resume writing. So you can learn from that course. I will teach you how to write a resume, how to write stuff with outcomes. Second part, product thinking. Now, for product thinking, especially during the candidate phase, you're struggling to explain trade-offs in a structured way. So what you should do there is you should master interviews. You should go to interview training courses, learn the product sense, learn how to do product analytics, learn how to do product execution interviews, learn how to do behavioral interviews, and practice under time constraints. Interviews is a completely different game here. So you have to learn the courses to do that. And again, we have courses in Product Academy that teach you how to do that. You can look at that module for more information. Portfolio, it doesn't come up naturally or it doesn't tell a compelling story for you. You should really reframe your work as proof, share tight outcome-driven stories with clear results. That's very important. You need to showcase deep contextual understanding of the customer. Make sure your proof of work is easy to find and reference. So this could be your website, this could be your LinkedIn, this could be a YouTube video that you make, and so on. You struggle to explain the scope, decisions that you've made, and also collaboration. And to do that, you have to show that you have scoped out the work, prioritized the work, adjusted the work cross-functionally, you've used data, you've influenced outcomes, and so on. And use tools like R framework, Lean Canvas, North Star metrics to influence real-world decisions. And you can probably read through the rest, but again, most important in here is branding, because LinkedIn now is the place where a lot of hiring managers and recruiters find you. Getting a pitch that aligns with your job search strategy, again, another module that we teach here at Product Academy. You want to sharpen your positioning using your job search strategy. You need to tighten up your LinkedIn, a clear intro story and answers that back to your unique value proposition. So you can read the rest, but the most important part here is branding. So one of the courses that we teach here at Product Academy, figuring out your product manager job search strategy. So this is a different module that you can check out. But in here, we talk about how you can create a LinkedIn for yourself that you can clarify what location you're at, what type of industry you want to focus on, what type of relevant experience that you should promote for yourself, and helping you figure out what you're good at, what the work that you want to do, the top 3 must-haves and the top 3 must-nots, and so on. So go through this module if you want to learn more about the job search phase of this journey. So coming back to this, what does success looks like for a candidate? The first goal is to go from proving that you can do the job. That's the key here, proving to converting, from interviews to internal or external, right? You're not learning how to do the job anymore. You've done the job already. You have experience. You're now learning to tell the story and also of what you already done. And think of this as more of a launch phase where, you got the product works really well. Now it's about coming out with the packaging and marketing for yourself. So you can get some leads to the product that is you. And now it's about positioning, storytelling, and closing the sale. And a few key things to remember in this phase. First off is you want to polish your case studies. You want to frame them as an outcome-based story. So you talk about the money that you've made for the business, the impact that is done, so everyone can easily relate to it. You want to practice interviews. It's very important to do this. Product sense interview, product execution interviews, strategy, behavioral question. Using metrics to show your impact. So in every single one of your answers, so people know that you think from a business perspective. Ask for referrals and backdoor feedback. This is when you can leverage your network that you've built up over the last 4 stages. People that you added in initially, the 10 PMs, now they've seen your progress. They've seen what you've done. This is the time for you to leverage your network and ask for feedback, ask for referrals, and follow the method of give, give, get. Networking, again, is another key aspect in this course. Within Product Academy, there's a course for that. So you can refer that for how to network. You want to refine your LinkedIn and resume, as I mentioned previously. You want to conduct mock interview with people to practice your interviews before you go into any type of interview. Never go in cold. And also don't overlook internal opportunities. Internal transfers are also important area for you to transfer into PM. Majority of product roles are from internal transfers. So do that first. And the last part is focus on closing the loop. Interviews about clarity, confidence, and conversion.